The most important English conversation you will ever have is the one you have with yourself. I'm not talking about practicing in front of a mirror. I'm talking about that quiet voice inside your head. The voice that says, "Don't speak. You'll make a mistake." The voice that says, "Everyone will judge you. You're not good enough." That voice is the real reason why so many of us feel stuck. Today's story is about how one young woman from Brazil, who was terrified to speak, learned to silence that voice and find her own. This is not the story of a celebrity or a billionaire. This is a story about someone just like you, and her journey will show you that the path to fluency isn't about being perfect. It's about being brave. I'm your host, Scarlett, and this is Grow English Mastery. Today, we will follow the step-by-step journey of a real English learner named Camila. First, we will learn from her experiences and discover the power of small, brave steps. Second, we will master 10 essential vocabulary words like confidence, courage, and community. And finally, for our language focus, we will learn how to use the past tense to tell your own powerful story. So, let's walk the streets of New York with Camila and learn how she found her voice. Part 1. A small world in a big city. Our story begins with Camila. Just 6 months ago, at 24 years old, she moved from her home in Brazil to the city of dreams, New York City. When she first arrived, everything felt big and fast. The streets were full of people, yellow taxis, and buildings so tall they seemed to touch the sky. But in this huge, exciting city, Camila's world felt very small. The reason? She was afraid to speak English. One morning, she was on the subway, going to explore a new neighborhood. 2 women were sitting in front of her, talking and laughing in English. Camila didn't understand everything, but she listened carefully. She felt that familiar mix of nervousness and desire. She wanted to connect with people, to be a part of the city's energy, but she was scared. Then, in that moment, she decided to take a small risk. A very small one. She smiled and said, "Hello, my name is Camila. I am learning English." The women looked at her and smiled back. They were friendly. They started speaking more slowly. One of them, Sarah, told her, "Your English is good. Keep going." It wasn't a long conversation, just a few minutes before her stop. But for Camila, it was a huge victory. For the first time, she felt a connection instead of fear. When she got off the train, Sarah gave her her phone number and said, "If you ever need help, just call." That small moment of human kindness changed everything. That night, Camila made a promise to herself. "I will study English every day. I want to understand people. I want to speak with confidence." Part 2. From classroom to cafe, feeling stronger after that subway conversation, Camila searched online and found an English school near her apartment. On her first day, she walked into the classroom and saw other students from all over the world: Korea, Mexico, Turkey, China. They all looked just as nervous as she felt. They smiled at each other, a shared understanding in their eyes that they were all in this together. Their teacher, Ms. Taylor, was kind and full of energy. on that first day, she told them something very important. She said, "You don't need to study grammar books all day. You need to use English every day in the real world. That's how you really learn." This gave Camila so much hope. She wanted to talk and connect, not just read from a book. The students in her class shared their struggles. One student, Minho, was afraid of his pronunciation. Another, Hannah, didn't know how to learn vocabulary. Ms. Taylor gave them practical techniques. She taught them about shadowing, a technique where you listen to a native speaker and repeat what they say at the same time, like a shadow, to copy their rhythm and intonation. She encouraged them to read simple books that they actually enjoyed, not difficult ones that made them feel stressed. And she taught them to think aloud in English, even when they were alone, to build the habit of thinking directly in the language. Inspired, Camila started doing all of these things. She found a simple book and read a few pages every evening. She practiced shadowing with podcast clips at night. And as she walked home from school, she would think aloud in simple sentences. "I like this city. I am learning. I can do this." For the first time, she started to believe it. Soon, her confidence grew enough for her to get a new job at a small cafe near Central Park. She was nervous, but also excited to practice her English with real people, every day. Her manager, Tom, was kind and patient. On her first day, he told her, "Don't worry, Camila. You will learn fast. Just listen and be friendly." And she did. She took orders, she talked to customers about the weather, and even though she didn't understand every word, she smiled, listened carefully, and was not afraid to ask questions. Every small success, every friendly conversation gave her more and more hope. Part 3. Finding her voice. 1 week later, a big challenge arrived. Her manager asked her to answer the phone for the cafe. Her heart started beating very fast. She had never answered a phone in English before. On the phone, there are only words. There are no smiles, no gestures to help you understand. She took a deep breath and told her manager, "I can try." When the phone rang, she picked it up. "Good morning, Cafe Green. This is Camila speaking." A woman on the other end spoke quickly, ordering sandwiches and a coffee for her office. Camila closed her eyes and focused hard on the key words: turkey sandwich, large coffee, 10 o'clock. She repeated the order back slowly. The woman said, "Yes, that's perfect. Thank you." When Camila put the phone down, her hands were shaking, but she was smiling from ear to ear. She did it. Another defining moment came when she got lost while exploring a neighborhood in Brooklyn. Her phone had no signal. She felt that old, familiar fear returning. But then she saw a woman walking her dog. She remembered her first day on the subway. She stopped, took a deep breath, and used the phrases she had learned in class. "Excuse me, I'm sorry to bother you. I'm a little lost. Could you please help me?" The woman was kind and gave her clear directions. In that moment, Camila realized something important. She wasn't just learning English, she was learning how to be brave in her new life. Her final test came at her English school. For the end of the course, Ms. Taylor asked every student to give a short 2-minute talk about something they loved. Camila was terrified. Speaking in front of a whole class felt impossible, but she chose a topic from her heart: the beautiful flowers in her grandmother's garden back in Brazil. She practiced every night. On the day of her talk, her voice was quiet at first, but then she looked at her friendly classmates and she just spoke. She talked about the colors of the flowers, the memory of her grandmother, and the feeling of peace in that garden. When she finished, the whole class clapped. Her teacher had tears in her eyes and said, "Camila, that was beautiful and honest." In just 2 minutes of speaking English, she had shared a lifetime of love and courage. She had found her voice. Part 4. Language Focus. Now, let's explore 10 essential vocabulary words from Camila's inspiring story. Our first word is nervous. Nervous is an adjective. It means feeling worried or frightened about something. For example, when Camila arrived in New York, she felt very nervous to speak. Another example is, it's normal to feel nervous before a job interview. Our second word is confidence. Confidence is a noun. It's the feeling that you can trust your own abilities and be sure of yourself. For example, every small success on her journey gave Camila more confidence. Another example is, the key to speaking is confidence, not perfection. Our third word is to practice. To practice is a verb. It means to do something regularly in order to become skilled at it. For example, Camila made a promise to practice English every day. Another example is, I need to practice my pronunciation more often. Next, we have a mistake. A mistake is a noun. It is an action or an opinion that is not correct. For example, at first, Camila was afraid of making a mistake. Another example is, it is okay to make mistakes when you are learning a new language. Our fifth word is to improve. To improve is a verb. It means to get better or to make something better. For example, Camila knew she was improving when she could understand people. Another example is, I read books every day to improve my vocabulary. The sixth word is courage. Courage is a noun. It is the ability to do something that frightens you. It means bravery. For example, learning English didn't just teach Camila words. It taught her courage. Another example is, it takes courage to move to a new country by yourself. Our Dio. Seventh word is a habit. A habit is a noun. It is something that you do often and regularly. For example, reading every evening became a good habit for Camila. Another example is, daily practice is the best habit for any English learner. Next, we have to understand. To understand is a verb. It means to know the meaning of something that someone is saying or writing. For example, at first, Camila didn't understand everything people said to her. Another example is, can you explain that again, please? I don't understand. Our ninth word is proud. Proud is an adjective. It means feeling deep pleasure or satisfaction because of your own achievements. For example, Camila felt tired but proud after her first day of work. Another example is, my parents said they were proud of me. And our final word is a journey. A journey is a noun. It is a long process of personal change and development. For example, learning a language is a long and exciting journey. Another example is she shared her personal journey with her classmates. Now, let's look at our grammar focus for today, telling your story with the past tense. Camila's story is a beautiful example of how we use the past simple tense to talk about our experiences. We use the past simple to talk about actions and events that started and finished in the past. It is the language of storytelling. Remember, for regular verbs, we usually add ed at the end. For example, Camila walked into the classroom. She smiled at the other students. She listened carefully to the teacher. And for irregular verbs, the word changes completely, so we need to remember them. For example, she was nervous. The past tense of am. She felt happy. The past tense of feel. She told them her story. The past tense of tell. She went to the cafe. The past tense of go. When you tell your own story about your past, you will use these verbs to describe what happened. Part 5. Practice tips for the 4 skills. Now, how can you practice? Here are some simple tips inspired by Camila's journey. 4. Listening. Listen to this story about Camila again. Pay close attention to all the past simple verbs that are used to describe her journey. This will help you get used to hearing stories in the past tense. For speaking, think about your first week in a new school or a new job. Tell a short story, just 3 to 5 sentences, about that experience. Use the past simple. You can tell the story to a friend or record it on your phone. For reading, find a short success story of another English learner online. You can search for My English Learning Story. Read it and highlight all the past tense verbs that the person uses. And for writing, this is your main task today. In your journal, or in the comments below, write a short paragraph about one small success you had this week in your English learning journey. Use the past simple to tell your mini story. Part 6. Your story matters. Camila's story is a powerful reminder that learning English is not just about grammar and vocabulary. It's about courage. It's about patience. And it's about taking small steps every single day, even when you're scared. Her journey started with a simple hello on a subway train and led to a new life full of confidence and connection. She learned that mistakes are not failures. They are just part of the process. Let's quickly summarize the key takeaways from our lesson today. First, we followed the inspiring real-life story of Camila, who went from a shy beginner to a confident English speaker in New York City. Second, we learned about practical learning techniques like shadowing, reading for pleasure, and thinking aloud. And finally, we reviewed how to use the past simple tense to tell your own powerful stories. We also learned 10 essential vocabulary words for this journey. As a review, those words were nervous, confidence, to practice, a mistake, to improve, courage, a habit, to understand, proud, and a journey. I hope Camila's story has shown you that you can do this. You are not alone. You are on the same journey. One sentence at a time, One small, brave step at a time, you are building your future. What is one small, brave step you can take this week to practice your English? Please share your commitment in the comment section below. If you are committed to making this journey a part of your life, show your energy by smashing that like button. Be a hero for a friend by sharing this video with someone you know who needs a little courage. And to lock in your commitment to learning, subscribe and smash that notification bell so you never miss another story. Remember, your story matters and your voice is stronger than you think. Until next time, take care and happy learning.